Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. It is so dark in here today. I mean, it is the sun is not out. Let's put it that way. I do have a light on. I have the finches. I've had this overhead that was very bright on for the finches most of the day. And I just put it off because it's so bright. I don't want them overstimulated with it, and so I put it off and I put another one on. I want to share with you a few things today actually, and I didn't put this one in the title is an article I want to share with you on the autumn birds or fall birds, and so we'll get to that, but I want to share the update with you on the spinach. So if you take a really close look, you can see that, let's see here, I think it's on this side, that it is rooting. It is, oops, sorry. It's starting to root. It's very hard to see. The teeny tiny little roots are coming out. Let's see if I can turn it this way. But it's very exciting because it's actually working. So as the roots get larger, it'll be easier for you to see on the video. So let's see, this one is also rooting. You see the little root there? So I'm really happy because these spinach leaves are the ones that I bought in the grocery store. So they were, actually refrigerated, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So, oh no, I'm sorry. You know what this is? This is the basil. I'm sorry, this is the basil. So I did try spinach, and I do not think the spinach is going to take, but this is the spinach. And the leaves are not looking very happy. Let's put it that way. The leaves are not looking happy. I don't know if this was from too much sun hitting in yesterday or if it got cold at the window, one or the other. So there's one in here that's okay, but I may have to try the spinach at another time, but I'm trying it. Looks like maybe, but the spinach has only been in here a couple of days. The basil has been in here about I think about 4 or 5 days. So it's the first time I showed it to you. But this is definitely starting to root. So I'm really super happy about that. So anyway, that's how they're doing. So the basil seems to be an easy project to root. Now I want to share something with you before we get to the article. My son gifted me with a bird cage for the finches, and it's truly an aviary. I'm going to show it to you in a second. He had to come here and put it together because it's so large. Now it's so large that the bar spacing for a finch, I believe it's a 1/2 inch, okay? So these are unfortunately 3/4 of an inch space bar. And everywhere I look, it says that's too large, and I'm really bummed out because what we may have to do, let me see if I can flip this. Yeah, let me show you. This is, now I have things behind it. So put this here just so I can walk over to it. Let me just walk over to it so you can see. Look how large this is. I don't know if you can see, but I'm 5'3.5". Okay. This is past my shoulders, just saying. So the issue is this bar spacing here. And I don't know if any of you have any ideas. I did read that you see how beautiful it is though? Look, it has It has 2 tray areas there, and they're not confined, so you can pull them out super easy and clean. And just lift this up. Look, it looks just, it's beautiful. But the bar spacing, here, I'll put this on them. They're saying hello. Hello, angels. Hello. So, but the bar spacing on it is too wide. And so what we have to do is try to figure out how to get that bar spacing, either amended so that the spacing, yeah, it's really big. You know what? Look at the size of it and get, how much do you think it cost? Any of you take any guesses at all? Okay, no one's gonna guess. I'll tell you how much it costs. It costs $37. 37, not 137. I mean, seriously. Hi. Let me see if I can see your names here. Carla, hi. Yeah, it costs $37. So he was telling me, let me just tell you, look, this is not a chintzy cage, and it's on wheels. This is very sturdy. It's not chintzy. Guess where he got it? He got it at Temu. T-E-M-U. Temu. And look, it's got doors. You see? See the doors? So you can get in and out there easily. Over here, and then it's got doors over here and on the other side, and then it has a really big latch door. You could put it, because you're clipping it together. Look, with these, you see these right here? These are very strong clip connectors. You know what they're like? You know, like those little games, where they kind of just snap little things together, and you can build them, and they're like that. I'm not thinking of, not the old-fashioned kind, but they're the newer kind, actually super easy to work with. Anyway, so that's the beautiful cage my son was very thoughtful and gifted me with. Behind the cage, you're just seeing some things I have for storage, my camera holder and whatnot. But anyway, hi, Katia? Is that what I'm saying? Lava? Hi! And the birdies are saying hi too. So let me just put this back over here on them until I find the article. You'll find the article here. And because it's closed up on me. There we go. Okay, so because, let me just talk to you about this for a moment in case you're getting finches. So the finches are so very tiny. They are so tiny, right? They're like, they're smaller than a sparrow. They are. Sparrows have a little more heft to them. These guys are narrow. So the spacing on that, the only thing we can think of right now is to maybe put mesh on the inside of that cage and, put it on the inside and just line the whole thing. And because they're so tiny that if they do try to get through, and they do explore, I will tell you, I'm very shocked. Okay, let me tell you how smart they are. Now, I didn't perceive this at all. When I first got them, the first type of veggie that I gave them, I tested out on them, was broccoli, was a little sprig of broccoli. And I put it in the bird seed, like every day. And then I read, actually with you, I was reading, not to put the veggies, that's before I realized what a variety of veggies and fruits. They have to have more than a sprig of broccoli a day. And I would never have known that if I didn't research. The store that I bought it from did not give me that information. But is it really up to them to give that to me? I probably should know, but yes, I became knowledgeable with that because I researched and I found that information. So I put that's where I was putting the sprig. And then I read, no, put their veggies and food in a plate flat on the floor of the cage, because that helps their scavenging instinct. It helps it. They like to go down, and they do. They fly down, they go up, they go down, up and down. But you know what? You know what they're doing? They're taking their broccoli sprig and they are putting it in the birdseed bowl, just like from day one when I introduced them to broccoli. Seriously, I'm just saying right now, that is high intelligence. They are coordinating their space, is what I'm trying to say. So I find myself now starting to study them a little bit more and a little bit more. And I love behavior, studying behavior. I mean, that's why I got 3 psychology degrees. It's like I'm not necessarily studying and profiling everybody I see, but if there's something that steps up to me, it's interesting. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Now let's get to the fall birds, and this is by Birds in Bloom. And I was just taken by the beauty of these fall birds. I mean, look, that's a little tufted titmouse. Look, it's sitting on you see how tiny that one is? Sitting on corn. So let's see, I get over here. It doesn't really talk too much about the birds. It just says a very tiny bit about each bird. And it just says that the tufted titmouse enjoyed some corn at a feeding station in Dorothy Carney's County Park near Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. And I don't have any titmice at my own feeders very often. So we have a few here, I notice, in Vermont. But she goes, so I was so thrilled when she saw that cute little one. And that was from Barbara in Madison, Wisconsin. And did you know that tufted titmice join small flocks of birds, including chickadees, nuthatches, and woodpeckers in the winter months? It makes perfect sense. And if you've ever heard them referred to as titmouses, learn about the correct plural. Well, you know what? If somebody says that, I'll know what you're saying. Okay, so the next one is these little guys right here. And they are called pine siskins. Have you ever heard of pine siskins? This is what they look like. I don't think I've ever even seen them. To be honest, they look very small. But let's look here. Pine siskins on a cold, rainy October afternoon. Our feeders were overwhelmed with a flock of pine siskins. We had seen one of these birds in the yard a couple of times, but this was wild. The competition for food was fierce among the many birds. They kept snipping their beaks at each other, protecting their snack supply. I got a number of entertaining action shots from this group of aggressive autumn birds. So check this out. That was in Illinois. Gurnee, Illinois. Look at these birds. Have you ever heard of pine? They're called pine siskins. So anyway, they kind of look like a pine cone design on the outside. Anyway, that's really interesting. And they were fighting over the food. Oh, who's this guy? This is a barred owl. Isn't he gorgeous? And you do hear them in the winter. It was such an honor to watch this barred owl all afternoon in a tree behind my fence. The bird had a nice lazy Sunday, and you know, she got a good picture. It didn't seem to mind me at all. So that was from Jennifer in Grissom, Oregon. So, and the next fall birds, you've seen this one here in Vermont, is the eastern bluebird. Look how beautiful. Um, I can remember probably 30 years ago when people started to really focus on putting up the bluebird houses. So this is pretty much what they look like. And let's see what it says about them. So I was enjoying a sunny, refreshing morning when a family of eastern bluebirds showed up. So they were there for a little while, checking out the birdhouse, and that's by Kimberly and Raleigh, North Carolina. So, but yeah, they're up here in the Northeast in Vermont also, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful, and I haven't seen. I tell you what, though, we have like a dozen birds at a dozen different species at the bird feeders here, but I haven't seen the bluebird here. I did see it we're way up in what they call the Northeast Kingdom. When I was in northern Vermont, I did see them, and I also saw them in central Vermont, but I haven't seen them in the Northeast Kingdom. So let me know if you have whereabouts. Okay, so this is a little chickadee, and that's a beautiful, beautiful picture of a chickadee. I've never seen one in that pose. I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous with the feathers showing and everything like that. Black-capped chickadee was getting ready to dive into the feeder. Oh, that's the pose. Lovely. And although they are small and super common around my neighborhood, they're still my favorite. Oh, there you go. Sudbury, Ontario. Yeah. And we do have chickadees here too. And I love their songs, and they are the sweetest looking little things. So here we go. This is another bird. Now this is saying these are the autumn birds. So I don't know about you, but I usually associate the robin with spring. But the title that we're looking at here is the autumn birds. So let's see here. What's it say about this little robin? This flock of robins landed on a large beautyberry bush in my backyard in November. I enjoyed this image, and I used a Nikon telephoto lens to capture it. And that's by Daryl in Decatur, Georgia. That's a lovely picture. If you look at it, you can see kind of the white mixed in with the red. This looks a little bit different. This looks a little bit different from our robins up here in Vermont, to be honest. Okay, so here you go. Here's the blue jay. They're very active right now, and I just love their calls. I don't know, it makes me think of my childhood for some reason. But there's the blue jay. You see him sitting on a pumpkin. Definitely a bird you will see in the fall. And this Victoria said that one showed up in her yard and was eating out of the pumpkin, and that was in Swanton, Maryland. So let's see. Oh, ruby-throated hummingbird. Let me check. Let me just look at the title again here. Pretty sure it said autumn birds. Yeah, 31 photos of autumn birds you need to see. That's what it says. Okay, so I had the hummingbird there. Let's go back down. I hope for those of you who love birds and just looking at the pictures, this will be a really fun video for you. So we'll go through all of them, okay? So the ruby-throated hummingbird. This ruby-throated photo, so it was taken during a fall migration in Iowa. The painted lady butterflies were migrating and my flowers were just covered with them. The hummingbird gave up trying to chase the butterflies away and decided to just share the flower. Check that out. That's by Linda in Iowa. Do you see that right here? Look that's the butterfly wings. If she didn't say that, I may not have noticed it so well. But look at the flower and the size of the little hummingbird next to the butterfly. That's gorgeous. Okay. So the next one is a ruby crowned kinglet. Have you heard of that one? I haven't heard of it and I haven't seen it. So that's what this tiny little beautiful bird is. That does look like a beautiful fall picture. So it says, I love the way the colors on the plant, yeah, totally match the bird. I mean, they really do. And how this ruby crowned kinglet that is normally moving nonstop paused just long enough for me to capture the photo of it against the soft orange background. That is gorgeous. It was November, and the colors in the photo are colors of autumn, and that's by Laura. So, did it say the state? No, it did not. Okay, this is the beautiful King of Kings here, the eagle. The bald eagle is a gorgeous bird, isn't it? What a beautiful picture that is. This says, I was enjoying the photographing this gorgeous fall foliage at my home in northern Minnesota. So you see, you're getting from all over the United States here. When this amazing bald eagle flew near me and then struck a pose as though he was waiting for me to take his picture. I live on the lake where the eagles build a nest every year. So eagles love lakes because let me tell you what, I saw an eagle grab a duck out of a lake right in front of me. I'm telling you, it was less than 25 feet. He swooped right, that poor duck. Oh my God, I felt awful. And he flew up over the road with it. It was, I've never seen that before. I never saw that before. That was definitely, I'll never forget it. Let's put it that way. But she says she lives on the lake, and that's why the eagles are probably building nests. There's a lot of food there. It's just incredible to watch these majestic birds raising new families every year. So that's by Debbie in Minnesota. Look at this one. Check this out. Look at that bird. That is a palm warbler. And this says, I took the photo at Middle Creek, which is about 20 minutes from her home. I believe the bird in the photo was a palm warbler. Look at look how long the legs are on this tiny little bird. The legs are really long and the beak is really long and it's like a yellow black. That is a warbler, actually. Yeah, she's right. So I believe it's palm warbler. So to me, it looks like a painting, as if the bird posed, and it's peaceful and relaxing, says Janet. And she says Middle Creek, but it doesn't say what state. But look, you can see the leaves in the background here. You see that gorgeous. So look for that bird. That's a fall bird you may see. And this little guy, we have this little guy in our backyard, the red-bellied woodpecker. And it's so cute. This handsome little bird was at the feeder in late fall and winter, and it's one of my favorite visitors. I love the vocals of the red-bellied. We're going to have to listen to vocals again of birds because they're really interesting. Okay. So that's by Sherry, and here's another beautiful, that is gorgeous. Look at the picture. Look at the perfect rippling of the circles there and the reflection. That is a stunning photograph. So that is a mute swan, and the fall colors reflected in the water make it look like a mute swan is swimming in a golden pond. It really does. It really looks golden. And that was Stanley Park. And I've heard of that actually in Westfield, Massachusetts. I think I've been to it. The swan is a perennial resident. Says Mark St. Ange. Interesting. So check this one out. This is a cedar waxwing. Look how beautiful that is. So this shot of the cedar waxwing was taken in my yard with a Nikon D3100 and 300 millimeter lens. Every fall, these beautiful birds visit the area, and I was lucky enough, to get a picture of it. And that's by Patricia. And yeah, look at that cedar. Look at all the colors in this bird. You got yellow, blue, you got like purplish, you got red, black, white. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. These pictures. This is by Birds and Blooms. Look at this one. Look at the wings out on that bird. Wood stork. Is that just gorgeous? I mean, we're lucky to have several wood storks who call our backyard home. This was a shot with my camera on Canon SX50 at sunrise on a lovely fall morning. With wings widespread, the main character in this photo seems to be holding court. The reflections and ever-changing colors in the lagoon always serve as a beautiful backdrop for many wading birds. That was South Carolina Low Country by Elizabeth. Look at this here. Looks like a doorway. I'm just saying, with reflections, you see this right here? It's not a doorway. It's not, it may be doorway to heaven, but it's not like a doorway. This might be like underneath a dock or something. But I don't believe these are real people. I think those are like a reflection of something. You see it? It's kind of it's kind of a phenomenal, kind of a supernatural thing going on right here, in my opinion. Anyway, that's gorgeous. Let's see here. Wood stork. Okay, so the next one is the red-eyed vireo, if I'm saying that correctly. Vireo. So I took this photograph in Lake County, Illinois. Illinois again, during the fall migration. There were many autumn birds feasting on the dogwood berries, including this beautiful red-eyed vireo. I love this photograph because I managed to capture the bird with a berry in its bill. And I like how it is framed by the foliage and this native shrub. And that's Emma. And so that's, look at it. Yeah, she did get the bird. Some of these just don't even look real because they're just so gorgeous. That's a perfect snapshot, right? Okay, so this one is the American Red Start. And I'm not sure why they call it the Red Start, because seriously, I've seen this before. It has a lot of the yellow and black and white. Let's see here what it says. This was taken in the fall migration. I was in my backyard. So many of these were in their backyard. It was a female American Red Start. Appeared at my water fountain. Excuse me. She was very excited to see water and kept hopping back and forth, fanning her tail feathers, trying to get brave enough to jump in. So that's by Linda. And that's gorgeous. So she doesn't, again, say the state, but that's an American Red Start. Okay. You see how long the legs are, and they're black in the bill. The eyes are kind of big on this bird for the size of the bird. It's a gorgeous bird. So this one is this one I've seen. The red-shouldered hawk. Watch out for these guys. They are not afraid of anything. I had one of these hawks come onto my porch and attack a pigeon, picked the pigeon up, dragged it away basically. I came out. I wasn't interfering with nature, but I was right there. And he looked me in the eye and I did not move. He was gonna and he was backing up watching me. He would have attacked me if of course I wouldn't interfere with nature, but he certainly was warning me not to. I was raking leaves in the fall at a mother-in-law's house near Butner, North Carolina, and this red-shouldered hawk flew by. So I grabbed my Canon T3 out of the car, locked onto several shots, and this is what she got. The resulting clarity of the hawk's plumage was what made the photo so special. The plumage is gorgeous. I mean, that is a beautiful shot. And you can see how clear the photo, the picture of the bird is. And then, but back here, it's kind of blurry. And she even got the claws and the speckles and the beautiful design, because the bird is just absolutely an art piece, just gorgeous. Dark-eyed junco. I think we have some of these, but I know we absolutely have the blue jay and we have the cardinals, but we have a bird with that, a little crest like that too. I really enjoyed trying to get a photograph of the autumn birds. This little dark-eyed juncos was in my backyard, says Jessie. She doesn't say what state. Steller's jay. The photo is Steller's jay near Bailey, Colorado. These striking birds are frequent visitors to my sunflower and soup feeders. So I'm not sure what they're talking about there, because they were putting the titles underneath the birds. Okay, so that's Steller's jay. Oh, you know what? They skipped the photo of the dark-eyed junco, I think. Because I don't see it. Steller's jay. Costa's hummingbird. I think that's what that is. Or no. Hang on. This is definitely a dove. That one I know. This is a house wren. So I think they just skipped a few photos. That's okay. This is a beautiful house wren. And see it? Look at it. Is that just gorgeous? It's so delicate, so tiny. Each morning I walk a different preserve, natural land or park, and usually my camera with 2 dogs, and on this beautiful day, October 1st, is when she got the picture. This is one of the few places that no dogs are allowed, but it gives me more freedom. So she got the little wren amongst the berries. So that's a little house wren. Yeah. Okay, and this is a dove. We do have a male and female dove that come to the yard here. But the ones here are more all beige. This one looks like it has very dark wings. It actually looks quite thin and small for a dove. But let's see what it says. I worry about our wildlife. I'm going to tell you. That's why I try to feed them every day. I do feed them every day. Morning dove. On a late summer day, I looked into my living room window and I saw a mourning dove perched on the tree. The light filtering down on the dove was gorgeous. So I grabbed my Canon EOS 7D Mark II. So these are the cameras they're using to get these bird pictures. And quietly headed out my back door to take the shot. I find mourning doves to be such beautiful, peaceful creatures. And they really are. And their little cooing is just adorable too. And this heavenly light just accentuated this for me, says Patricia. So that's probably what we're seeing, is the light around the dove and just highlighting its the contours of its colors. So look at these. That's a wood duck, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yes, these are wood ducks. Look how gorgeous. I mean, come on now. That is just, what a superb picture. So that must be male and female. I photographed the pair of wood ducks on a small pond near my home. I've provided 2 duck nest boxes that have been used for the past 11 years. I took the photo with my Canon EOS 70D. Okay, a lot of people are using this EOS 70D, so I'm going to look into that too. Says Edward from Rockland, California. Look at these wood ducks, guys. This is the male, I'm pretty sure right here. This is the male, and this is the female. Gorgeous. See, he's got the little crest. Beautiful, just beautiful, stunning. Okay, and these are sandhill cranes. Look at the length of them. That's another gorgeous picture. And again, it was in autumn. These are all autumn birds that we're talking about. These are birds that people have seen in the fall and winter. So she goes in every autumn, I eagerly look forward to the annual migration of the sandhill cranes through eastern Tennessee. Most years in October, when I hear the distinct throaty call of the cranes flying overhead. I mean, look how many pictures. I mean, you're lucky to see 1, maybe 2 cranes, like if you're going out looking for cranes, but she got 3 in a row right there, all together, in flight. That was Birchwood, Tennessee. And where I photographed these autumn birds in flight, it's a thrill to observe them in a short visit, said Don, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I think that's more the southern part, southeast part of Tennessee, Chattanooga, or is it in the center? Okay, so this is another gorgeous, gorgeous bird. What is this? American goldfinch. There's a little finch. So this beak on this finch, look, I don't know if you can see the silhouette of my birds, but it's the same beak on my birds. Yeah. See the little beaks because yeah. But you know what? The Bengalese, my birds right here, my birds, actually there is no, believe it or not, legit, Bengalese finch in the wild. There is no Bengalese finch in the wild. They were, I don't want to say created or crossbred, right? But, and have all, and the breed, they crossbred, so the breed that they are has always been in a cage. Do you believe that? That's true. So I read that in one of the facts about the Bengalese. So this goldfinch, while picking out pumpkins, I saw broomcorn and decided to hang it up near my backyard feeders. And this American goldfinch has been absent for about a month, but it quickly came to eat the seeds and use the broomcorn as a perch while waiting for the feeders. It certainly made a beautiful photo. So check this out. Check it out. Look how gorgeous that is. Is that just gorgeous? Look, I don't want to go too far out of this article, but it says how to attract more finches to your backyard. We'll come back up to this. And I got to watch the time, actually, because the charge on the laptop that I'm reading this article off of is going down a bit. So here we go. Here we go. Pileated woodpecker. Look at that. I saw one once, and it was 20. Yeah, it was not 20. It was about 17, 18 years ago. And it was in Woodstock, Vermont. And it was, I was driving, and it was literally darting in and out of the trees. Like you could hardly see it, so obscure. But I saw it, and this is exactly what it was. Yeah, it was a pileated woodpecker. I did post it at the time that I saw it. The pileated woodpecker landed on a stump near my home, and immediately began searching for food. And again, the Nikon D300, that one we saw too, she had it with her, and so she took a picture. And now they saw this bird. He saw this bird, Tom, in Lansdowne, Ontario. So it was up in Canada, and oh, so I'm on the Canadian border. So this is something maybe we can see up here, hopefully. So this one is a white-breasted nuthatch. We have these little guys up here. Look how gorgeous that is. The way it can bend its body like that, my God, the neck and everything, climbing the tree. It hopped down on a long leaf pine right in front of my farm truck. So I sneaked over with the camera, and she got a picture of it. So that's in by Roger in Rembert, South Carolina. And this is a gorgeous northern cardinal. Look at that, right in flight, and no blurriness. Just the cardinal has a beak like the finch, only it's larger. Yeah, that's gorgeous. So it landed on a dogwood tree. They love dogwood trees. And she was almost afraid of it taking off. They are very skittish. Cardinals are incredibly skittish. Other birds will stay like a little bit and let you take a few steps forward, but the cardinal, no way. I was almost afraid to hope for a photo in fear of it taking off, but I kept my arms and hands steady despite the nervousness as she spread her wings in the morning sun, and then I held my breath and started snapping. The final result was the picture there, and that's by Vera in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So this was South Carolina. So the cardinals we have up here, the females are brown and the males are red, very red, way more red than this. This looks a little mixed. Maybe it's a winter molting or summer. No, it was in the winter, so not a winter molting. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, so this is the yellow-rumped warbler, if you've ever seen one. It's just got a little yellow speckles, and you see the warbler beak. You see the beak, and its eyes are bigger in comparison to its body. And so I've transformed. Here, I could put the camera a little bit on them too while I'm reading. Let's see if I can do that so you can see both. Get both best of the best of both worlds. Best of the both of them. Okay. So that's the little warbler there. Yeah, hi Mashuki and Umi. Hi. They definitely know their names. Okay. Bring this over a tiny bit. There, and then you can see them too. Okay. So the next, because there's 31, we've got to be almost done here. For sure, we're almost done. This is the American tree sparrow. And yes, you see them all winter, absolutely for sure. Let's see where she saw hers. That's Susan from Cortland, New York. Okay, so northeast. And there it is again, beautiful little sparrow. There's variations of these sparrows also. Now, my little Bengalese finches, in my opinion, resemble the sparrow a little bit more than other finches even, because she is beige and white. She's definitely beige and white, and he is a dark brown and white. Okay. So let's see, is that it? Oh, we went through all of them. Okay. So if you loved looking at the pictures of all of these birds, and you want to see them again and take your time to go through them, they're just photos, not lots of info and this and that. But it's by Birds in Bloom. So you go to birdsinbloom.com. And so sorry about that. So I hope that I didn't mean to be so scare you. So I hope that you really enjoyed that. I hope that you put that over on Little Mashuki and Umi for a few minutes. So a couple things with them. So temperature is super important. And part of the place that I live in here is definitely cooler than another part of the place. So, which is totally fine. And you're going to get that in any house. You're going to find one room cooler than another. So when I'm in the cooler room, I just make sure I'm checking the temperature. And if it feels too cool, I'll put a little space heater on, just partially on, so it can kick on and just keep it nice and warm. And if it's at too cool, I'll put them in the room that is the warmest. And so anyway, that's where we're at there. I am very, very, very excited that my spinach is starting to root, because I can tell you right now, spinach is their favorite food. Favorite. They look for this spinach. At night they do. They look for it. And the other thing about finches I'm learning is I don't know how other people do it, but I don't, like, if I have a day where I work, and I'm very part-time, so I'm not gone long at all, but if I do have a day that I work, I give them their little breakfast, which now at this point is generally composed of a hard-boiled egg all chopped up with the shell, and something like either a chopped up banana, or a little bit of spinach or melon, parsley, something else that goes along with their little hard-boiled egg. So every morning they get a little dish. But guess what? They also get, so then I take that dish out early afternoon, whether I'm home or not home, right? I come home and take it out, and then wash it out, whatever they left on there, just throw it out and wash it up, and give them a new little snack. That's an early afternoon. And then guess what? Right around supper time, about 4:35, 5 at the latest, they get their little spinach, because they love their spinach. So, and I introduced them to strawberries yesterday. And, so she's picking up. She just dunked her millet. Let's see if you can see this. She dunked her millet when they're working in their cage, because I'm studying their behavior. I can't help it because it's just so darn interesting. But she dunked her little millet, and this is what they'll do. They'll put the millet or the parsley, not millet so much, but sometimes they will take the sprig of the millet and put it in the water. So maybe they think the seeds are too hard, because they don't always do it. But they'll take their spinach and they'll dunk it in the water, or they'll take the basil and the parsley. So I noticed especially the parsley will be put in the water. So the parsley might have too strong of a taste, because that's a new introduction too. So the parsley is something they put in the water, and then they go back and they'll drink the water. And they're very sweet to each other, very, very sweet. Oh my God, if people could learn half of what our wild kingdom can focuses on and teaches in the way of relationship, because that's what it is. It's just focusing on building your your home together and being kind to each other. I know it's more complicated in life, but anyway. So I thought I would just jump on here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it inspired you to check out your beautiful fall birds for the fall and winter, and look out for them. Try to feed them if you can. And as I do believe they need a lot of help nowadays, just because so much of their habitat in general has been has has been taken down due to building and construction. And with that, you have a beautiful day, and please jump on board and subscribe. I'd love for you to subscribe. It's free. Leave comments if you like this type of video. I will keep you updated. We'll do a couple, some short ones on just the plants, and updating you on the roots. I will show you as the basil begins to root more, and hopefully the spinach roots. And I need to, guess what? I need to get flower pots for them, because I'm thinking of some other veggies, if these take, to grow for these guys, for my little sweethearts. And I'm thinking mint, and I don't know if they like parsley, and I haven't tried mint yet. I think they will like mint, but I bet you they throw that in the water too, because it might be too strong for them at the beginning. So anyway, with that, you have an absolutely beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next one.